What's up, y'all? It's Chief Sound Black Hawk. Back at it with another lesson. Before I start this lesson, I would like to send peace on to the ladies. I would also like to send peace on to the fellas out there. Peace to the Queen of Heaven and Earth and all the Orishas. Peace to the planet and peace to the cosmos. Uh, yeah, so that being said, let's go ahead and get into this lesson that I was given or told to give by the Queen of Heaven and Earth. She told me to talk about the stars, right? Now, if you understand the Queen of Heaven and Earth, right, what she does is she breaks down certain things that need to be told to the tribe, right, through images, right? Because all of these images is uh, physics, right? So these are certain atomic molecules or atoms that is used in these symbols, right? To break down what she's trying to tell the tribe, right? Now I told you, right, about the Star of David. The Star of David represents air and water, right? So the top of the Star of David, which represents air, that represents the father line off the two, right? Because remember, I told you that a two is a cane flip. So you flip the two, you got the five off the right hand off the mother line, right? Then if you flip the five, you got the two off the left hand off the father line, right? So it's a cane flip. So the two being air uh, on the Star of David, that's what that represents. It represents the father line. Then the bottom of it represents water because the bottom is coming from the four. Because if you turn the four upside down, it becomes a jewel, which represents water, right? So um, it represents air and water, right? Because a lot of people thought that the Star of David represented the five elements. No, it don't. Because if you understand physics, a electron has a negative particle, right, or a negative charge. I mean, right. The charge is negative because it's fire, right? That's chaos energy, right? So the electron can connect with the neutron because the charge is too powerful. So this is why they have to work separately on different occasions. So this is why when you see the 5 point star come in, you have water, fire, air, earth, and spirit, which is representing the five elements, but still it's not connected as one. It's connected on another side, right? So it's operating off of another side on its own charge, but not together. So um these stars is representing the queen of heaven and earth, right? And these stars is telling us something. The tribe, the ones that's from over here, they're telling us something, right? Right. So you wonder why America they use the 5 point star because the 5 point star represents spirit. That represents everything aligning together, right? Which will represent the mother, right? Because if you look at the middle of the 5 point star, which will be the open gate, it looks like a house, right? So, like I said, Mama's house, which is the castle, that was the spiritual dojo. That's where we went to learn all that we needed to learn, right? As far as like modern day, they would call it a Masonic lodge, right? We had to go into those castles to learn all that we needed to learn. The checkerboard floors, all that was in there. That's where we studied. That's where we spent most of our time because that was the house of the mother. That was the spiritual dojo. And we all represented that spiritual dojo. We represented the house, right? And in order for the house to be uh, the way it was, we had to be in alignment with ourselves. Because if the house ain't right, then we got a problem. Because the whole job is to make sure that mama house is as clean as possible. So as far as us being into it with each other and us being angry at each other, that never happened. Because we knew not to do that, because that will affect our mother. And we would never do nothing to put that in jeopardy of affecting our mother. Because she the queen. Right? So the castle, that's what that represents. So when you looking at the 5-point star, you looking at the house of the mother. That's what you looking at. Right? Because you have 5 points, right? But you count them all together is 10 lines, right? So 10 plus 5 is 15. So you have 5 points, and then the open gate in the middle has 5 lines to it, right? So then you have the 10 plus 5 is 15, so that's 5, 5, 5. So that's a triple mother knot, balancing off the right hand and off the left hand. The number in the middle would be the open gate, right? So the number in the middle is the open gate, forming off the energy off the right hand and off the left hand, right? That's why everything appears in threes, because it's forming a higher principle and understanding of knowledge, right? Through the numbers, right? So that's why everybody be wondering why numbers always appear in threes. That's why. So you just have to be in alignment and be in tune to realize that, right? So that's what that is, right? And then we're gonna go back to the Star of David. The Star of David, right, has 12 lines, right? So the reason why the Star of David has 12 lines is because it represents the 12 zodiacs, right? So this is why when you get deeper into alchemy, right, you see Mercury, you see Venus, you see Jupiter, you see Saturn, right? You see all of these alchemical signs, and all of these alchemical signs is representing the queen. It representing certain elements and how they work, all right? So we say, what if down is up, what if up is down, all right? So these elements, these alchemical symbols, you can see them, right, standing straight, right, and see what they represent standing straight, and then you can turn it upside down to where it can have a certain different degree to it, to where it could represent something else as opposed to how it was represented when it was standing up, right? It still has the same power of it, right, but it's giving you 2 different spectrums and degrees of how it can work, right? So this is why you see with the Star of David, you got one hexagram going up and then you got another hexagram going down. They give you the degrees of natures and laws and principles of how everything works. Right? You got one going off the 3rd degree, 4th degree, 2nd degree, 5th degree, and 1 degree. Right? It's giving you the like I said, the understanding of degrees and how energy works. Right? And this is all coming from the Queen of Heaven and Earth. This is her representation. And this our shit. But I just told you some real shit. Let that marinate what I just told you. Right? Because a lot of people uh, don't really understand uh, how we work, right, and what we do. We don't have to connect, right, with each other through talking. We could connect with each other through symbols, right? Through using the signs that Big Mama have here. We use her symbols and we can connect with each other, but you have to be in tune to know what we trying to tell you, right? If you ain't in tune to know what we trying to tell you, then you have a problem. Because you gonna look at that shit and it's gonna look like it's Chinese to you, right? If you don't know what it means. But it means something, you just have to know what it means. I didn't caught on to what all this shit mean. I caught on to it. Right? Right? And this is what it is. So she leaves us signs and symbols, right, to get us to understand what's going on. Right? So this is like I said, when you see the 6 point star, you see the 5 point star. We just thought it was just some random shit that the government came up with when the whole time is representing our mother. The one that owned the planet, you know, in the cosmos. This all coming from her, right? And they using it to deceive you, right? Because they picked the 5 point star on the flag, right? They put the 5 point star on the flag. And you know we don't use flags. That ain't our shit. That ain't how we do shit, right? But they put it on the flag to tell you what they did to us, right? Because you have the top, right? You have the top of it is red, then you have a blue layer, then you have a white layer, right? So that red at the top is representing how they came and took the queen off the right hand, off the left hand, because the enemy came here off the left hand, right? But after they came here off the left hand and took the queen off the right hand, they end up going off the right hand, right? So they put the energy uh, on the opposite side to where it's not representing the queen no more, it's representing the enemy. Cause I ain't even gonna say the king because they killed all, all the chiefs off. So they don't represent us. They represented the enemy. Right? So when you see the 5 point star um on the American flag, that's what that's representing. That's why they put the red at the top. Because it represents how they took the queen off her throne. Because you remember the red is resembling your root chakra, right? Which is representing the one drop of blood from the queen of heaven and earth. Right, but then if you understand the root chakra, you understand the rooster, the chicken, right? The rooster, the chicken, or the turkey, those are also clan symbols, right? I'm gonna have a video on that too, talking about that, a deeper meaning of your root chakra. Um, because it's a deeper meaning to it that a lot of people still don't even know about. So I'm gonna have a lesson on that too. But yeah, that's what all that shit represented. Then the blue was representing the Blue Lodge on the American flag. So this is what it is when we're talking about this. This is all her shit, right? And this is the way she connects with the clan down here by showing these symbols. You have to know what it means. Because I already told you, I already talked about it before. I talked about the bald head eagle. The bald head eagle was her. That's the queen. They'll never tell you that, but that's her. That's why they got the eagle looking to the left side, right? So they telling you, how they got the energy in this incorrect space, because they got her looking to the left, right? Then they got the olive branches in the left hand, and then they got the arrows in the right hand. That ain't how it's supposed to be. The olive branches is supposed to be in the right hand because that will resemble Earth. The arrows is supposed to be in the left hand because that will resemble us off the father line, off the left hand, bouncing off the right. Right? But people wouldn't even get that. But that's what it mean though. Right? Right. So they showing you who they against by putting this shit right in your motherfucking face. They showing you who they against. But you just have to know what it means. Right? So, um, this is what it is. um, I already had basically talked about this before, so I ain't really got to say too much on these stars, but you know, she had wanted me to speak more on it, so I had to get on here and speak more on it about these stars and what these stars represent. Right, because you have some stars that will represent the physical body, and then you have some stars that represent the inner body, right, which is the soul, right? So, uh, some stars will have different meanings to them as opposed to what they trying to tell you. But most of the stars they use mostly will be the representation of the physical body, you know. But some of them can represent the inner body, which, like I said, the soul. All right. Now, this is why you will understand why the Muslims go under the 5-point star, because they going under the Queen of Heaven and Earth, right? Because remember, I told you they changed the philosophy of what being a Muslim really is, right? I, self, law, and master. That's what being a Muslim really is. But they changed the philosophy to where it's basically you calling on Allah, which is an outer God, right? Which is somebody you could say greater than you or more powerful than you, but you have the power. You are the one that's great, right? You the one that possess the power, because who gave you your power? The Queen of Heaven and Earth. So by being a Muslim and studying the laws of self, you taking back your power, what was imprinted into you by the Queen. That's what that is. That's the real philosophy of it. But they changed it around. Right. This is why you have to know shit in order to be able to say something. If you don't know what's going on and you don't know how we connect with one another, you shouldn't speak on nothing. Right? Because then you're gonna lead yourself down to a path to where somebody gonna correct you, and then when somebody correct you, you're gonna feel retarded. Because you didn't know what the fuck you was talking about. Everybody's still going around saying that motherfuckers out here, right, selling their souls, talking about this Illuminati bullshit. But out here still talking about that shit and don't know what the fuck they talking about. How the fuck can a Mason be the Illuminati? Make that make sense. Because then you don't even know what the fuck Illuminati is. Illumination is to be enlightened. Right? It's to be enlightened. So that means you are a group of people that have a certain knowledge, right, that pits you against society. Right? But just because some people have a certain degree of knowledge don't mean they're going to use it to hurt other people. That don't necessarily mean that. Right? So motherfuckers out here thinking that the Freemasonry is the Illuminati and they got all this information, right? And all the information they have, they gonna use it against us. So we could be out here killing each other doing the bullshit that we doing. That don't make no fucking sense. Everybody has their own right possessed in them to enlighten themselves. Everybody has that. But people out here so lazy to where they don't want to find out nothing. So then they see somebody else that knows something more than what they don't know, so they feel the type of way. Well, nigga, that's your fault. You don't want to know nothing. I told you what that symbol mean, air and water. The same shit. The Masonic symbol. And the G, that's representing the queen, giving the power onto the left hand, onto the right hand, off the mother line. That's what that shit mean. That's our shit. But motherfuckers are so woke, what they claim to be, they don't even know that. But Freemason, free my sons. That's the queen of heaven and earth talking to us. Off the mother line, speaking to us so we could get our shit together and know what the fuck is going on. That's all our shit. But niggas still wouldn't catch it. Because they claim they woke and they know something. Right? So people just don't know our shit and know our symbols and how we operate and how we do things, so they don't know what's going on. Right? Because I told you about the 33 degree. That's the highest degree. Because 1-3 is going to balance off the left, and then 1-3 is going to balance off the right. So one is balancing off the third degree, the other is going to balance off the fourth degree, off the right hand, off the mother line. So that's what make it right. But if you pit the 3 degree and then you pit the 2 on the right hand, then now you're going against the laws of nations and principles. Because you pitting the father line on the right hand instead of pitting the mother line on the right hand. See, motherfuckers don't even know the fucking difference. They don't even know the difference to even be able to, okay, that's, nah. The 32 degree Masons is the ones that's wrong. But if you a 33 degree Mason, then that means you on our side. But niggas wouldn't even know that. You gotta know your shit. Because if you don't know your shit, you gonna look retarded. You got to know the difference. That's why I can know the difference, because I've studied esoteric. I studied the Hermeticism, Gnostics. I studied all that shit to where I know the difference. Right? But like I said, motherfuckers, especially some of our people, or just motherfuckers in general, they don't study shit. They wouldn't know what the fuck that shit mean. So of course they gonna judge it and gonna say it's something bad because they don't know what the fuck it mean. They still going along with the Jesus bullshit. But if you look in these books, giving you the real information, you gonna realize what Jesus really was. A woman. The queen of heaven and earth. You gonna know. That's the shit that be baffling me with people that you always want to talk bad about something, but you don't know what the fuck it is. You don't know what something is, but you got something to say about it. That don't make sense. Make that make sense. Be knowledgeable of what you even talking about. So if I say I worship in the Queen of Heaven and Earth, which I do, if I say I worship in her and not Jesus, you gonna think I'm with the devil. But you don't even know that the devil was Jesus. Because that nigga didn't like women. If you really read the story and really knew what they was telling. If I tell you a woman is the creator of reality, you would think I'm crazy, like I'm losing my mind. But everything around this motherfucker is feminine, including the animals. In order for us to develop on the land as chiefs, male chiefs and female chiefs, we all got to go through the heart of the mother. We got to channel her heart, and then once we channel the heart of the mother, this is when we will enlighten ourselves. After we channel her, if you don't channel the mother, nigga, you ain't getting no information, right? So this is why a lot of motherfuckers on the land is just talking because they ain't going through nothing. They ain't going through no stages of enlightenment to try to get to somewhere. They just saying some shit that's all in their head. That's how you know they just talking. This is what it is. I'm just delivering the message. Because this is where you gonna be able to tell who from over here and who ain't from over here. Is if they can realize the symbols. If you can't realize the symbols, you ain't from over here. Cause this shit, like I said, isn't stored into us. So something in you consciously know what this shit is. That's why you can realize about okay, that's something in you know what it is. Because it's instilled into you. This shit that you seeing is the same shit that's going on inside of your brain. Same shit. So it's no way for you not to know what it means. That's why that's why people be funny to me. Cause they don't know what the fuck they talking about. It be the funniest shit when motherfuckers be claiming that people are with the, wherever they Illuminati or they are. That's be the funniest shit. Cause they don't know what the fuck they talking about. Don't have no clue. All right. So, um, this is what it is. Um, you also will have the 7-point star that will represent fire, and then you have the 8-point star which will represent the infinity loop, which is the connection between both brains, both parts of the mind, the feminine brain uh, and the masculine brain. You know, I just had to put that out there. Now somebody asked, "How you know all this shit? How you know this? How you understand all this shit?" Well, because I know my mother. She ain't gonna allow us to suffer without telling us what we need to do. That's not gonna happen. Cause she know we down here. She sent us here. So if we here, right? You don't think she gonna tell us why we came here? She gonna tell us. We just gotta see what she's telling us. So you ain't just down here just to be here. You here for a reason, right? But you have the dilemmas and all of these distractions around you to make you um, unaware of what's going on and what you are supposed to do. Cause she's speaking to you in every type of way she can. She's speaking. She can speak to you through other people. She can speak to you or speak to you in music, right? You can hear a certain song and the frequency can hit your body in a certain way to where you start to think deeper in your mind, right? Or she can speak to you in your dreams. It's in a lot of ways. You just had to catch it. You know, that's why, uh, from a scientific standpoint, they gonna teach you these shapes, and these numbers that connect to these shapes is all just science, right? There's nothing deeper than that, right? But when you start paying attention and aligning the two and knowing what you is, you gonna know it means something a little bit more deeper, right? Because you got certain people that know science, know about algebra, know about physics, know about chemistry, know about all this shit that I'm talking about, but they still can't put it together to how it represents the queen, right? They still don't know it represents her. Right? So it's something on their end they need to figure out and put together. But this is what it is though. I realized something else about the moon as well. I realized that some of these moons that's out here, some of these moons ain't real, right? And the reason why I could tell that some of these moons ain't real is because how it affects my energy, right? If you notice that your energy is affected, right, while the moon is out, then you know that moon ain't real. That's basically morally a hologram, right? They can use a hologram to be perceived as real, but it ain't real, right? Put that motherfucker in the sky. You look at that motherfucker and you think that's some real shit the whole time. That motherfucker fake, right? Because what the fake moon can do is harvest your energy, right? Take the energy from you to where um, you could become very or feel defeated in a way, to where your energy don't feel as high as it was before that moon was out. And also, um it could make you think less of yourself, or it could also make you think of suicide, you know, depending on how it's hitting your body. Right? Because I also realized this about the ladies out here as well. Right? Now, we get our information as far as men, you could say we get our information in the day. They get their information at night. Right? So, like I said about the moon, now the real moon, when the real moon is out, they feel the symptoms. Right? They have a reaction to it. Right? It turns something up in their mitochondria. Right? So this is why, right? Sometimes you will feel that your girl, acting funny with you, right? As opposed to when the moon is out, she ain't acting funny. She just shifting gears and energy. That's all she doing. He just shifting gears or shifting gears. I mean, right? But that's when the real moon is out. Now, when it's the fake moon is out, you know, they get abused by it too when the fake moon's out. They have a reaction to it as well. Right. But that's something I noticed though. I noticed something about these moons because I heard about um fake moons, right? But I still wasn't really aware enough to, how it could be fake, but I didn't caught on to it. Because it's gonna affect us the men, but it's gonna affect these ladies the most. Because they connected to that. Right, but these dirty motherfuckers out here be doing that shit, you know. Tamper with these ladies like we ain't catching on. Well, you know what y'all niggas is doing. Niggas ain't stupid. Niggas know exactly what y'all niggas is doing with that shit. Cause I caught it, and a lot of other um, chiefs on the land probably caught that shit too. That shit ain't gonna last for much longer though. Y'all ain't gonna be able to do that shit no more. Just like what y'all be doing with our sun. Y'all be covering our sun up with all these fake clouds and shit because y'all don't want us to activate our mitochondria. So y'all gotta cover up the sun. Cause if you think about it, we damn near we only really getting about 10% of the sun. We ain't really getting the full effect of the sun because you got the fucking fake clouds and shit. We ain't getting the full effect. Just think if we got the full effect of the sun. Just think about how we would be if we got the full effect of it. We'd be way different. Our mitochondria will be way different. Our shit would be turned up. From a male perspective, our shit would be turned up. The females, they should be turned up. But it'd be different for us because we men. It'd be different for us. You know. Mm. But like I said, that's what I've noticed and I paid attention to what's going on. Um, also, also be aware to a lot of COINTELPRO being used right now. They using a lot of COINTELPRO right now. If you haven't paid attention, a lot of them, is trying to use the divide and conquer technique to have us going against each other or to damage, somebody's image and all that old shit. So you have to be paying attention to that because they doing that shit heavy right now, and I'm seeing all that shit. Right? They trying to have spiritual people into it with each other, for no reason. They using all type of bullshit. All right, but you just know, need to be able see past that shit and not entertain it because it's nothing but some bullshit, some foolery. Um, because this is why I told you, these news network stations. I told you they all with that COINTELPRO shit. Even TMZ as well. They with that shit too. They all with that bullshit to pit out false narratives and have motherfuckers looking bad. They all with that shit. That's why people don't like them because they know they, you know, pit out bullshit. Right? I see now. Yesterday, um, I don't know. I think it was ABC or Fox News, whatever the case may be, put out a statement about a letter that Osama bin Laden had wrote to America. Them niggas must have watched my video that I made explaining how Osama bin Laden was a double agent and how he was working for the government, right? Because what make you now want to put out a letter that he wrote to America about what 10 years ago? Why the fuck y'all putting that shit out now? What does it matter? Like, niggas ain't stupid. Niggas see past that shit. I know y'all niggas is all in cahoots together. You watch my shit, and then you tried to put that out to make it look like I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But I know that niggas is that. I know he's an agent. You ain't gonna get that shit past me. I know he was working with the government. It's obvious. Motherfuckers act like Afghanistan have the most secure secure land. Them motherfuckers ain't got no security. Nigga, they could have been got to Osama bin Laden a couple times. But they chose not to. Why? Because he with them motherfuckers. It's obvious. Cause I told you there's never really been no war over there. It was all some bullshit. That's why I made that statement talk about that motherfucker, because I know what the fuck he was. And all of them hijackers that was a part of the 9/11 shit, the motherfuckers was agents too. All of them. You know, so that's what it is with that. But I feel like I needed to address that. uh, yeah, but I feel like I addressed all that I needed to address. I gave you the info on the stars. I'm gonna probably put up a post about some other stars. I talked about most of them, but I'm gonna probably put up a post on my Twitter somewhere, or on my TikTok, uh, explaining more what other stars mean, uh, and what they symbolize. But yeah, I'm gonna put that up. Um, but with that being said, this is Chief Silent, Black Hawk, peace of ladies, fellas, Queen of Heaven, Earth ancestors once again. Uh, peace to them youngest out there, from one conscious mind to another. Uh, and with that being said, it's Chief Silent. I'm out. Y'all be safe out here. Peace.